sensing an opportunity here. Wrestling forward for another score. Brute force.
I'm just not a good drinker, pretty much. Like, it'd be times I'd drink and I'd just black out, so it ended up not being fun. So yeah, I just decided, what's the point, pretty much. I've done a few stupid things in the past, blacking out wise, obviously. Yeah, just what's the point? It's not enjoyable. I can't have one. Always want to have two, and then I have two, want to have another one. Like, it was never one. I'd always say, yeah, just going out for one wouldn't be one, so. You're listening to the England Rugby Podcast, O2 Inside Line. I'm Luke Cowan-Dickie. I'm Luke Cowan-Dickie. I play for Sale Sharks and England Rugby. I play hooker, so pretty much middle of the scrum, throwing at the line out. Set piece is the main thing, I would say. This day and age, got to be mobile, good around the field, so. I'd describe myself growing up as probably a bit misunderstood, I would say. Yeah, I wasn't the best kid. You know, I got into a bit of trouble, but it was like every other kid, really. School wasn't great. I didn't really like school. Not the smartest bloke, but I felt like I acted out in school a little bit because maybe I wasn't very smart. Mum would say I'm a nice kid. Yeah, so I grew up in Penzance, which effectively, if you see the bottom of the map, so it's right at the bottom in Cornwall. It's quite a small place. I was there till I was 17, and yeah, there's not much going on. I played for a local team, the Penzance Noonan Pirates, it was called back then. From when I was about 4ish to 15. When you say you come from Cornwall, they're like, that's miles away. They don't really see it as part of England. Now I'm joking. Now I'm sound on it, really. It's Cornwall. I lived in Devon probably for just as long now. And obviously now I've moved to Manchester. But no, I just think Cornwall's nice. A lot of people go there for holidays and, you know, little staycations, as you'd call them. And it's just nice. I grew up down there. So the little bridge, if you blow it up, Cornwall would probably float away to our own country. Found rugby, I actually can't remember. I started that young. My mum and dad bought me some boots and took me down. I was quite an aggressive kid, so they thought they could take me down and let me take it out on the pitch. So yeah, my first experience has always been good. I had the same coach growing up from about 4 or 5 to 15. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, so I sort of did a lot of sports when I was younger. It wasn't just rugby. I played a lot of football. I played hockey. Played tennis, pretty much anything to get out of the house. But yeah, I did like rugby. I like the boys I was around. And yeah, it's just being active, I think. I remember my friend's old man used to mascot in for like certain games. There was a team down there called Mounts Bay, Cornish Pirates, obviously. So when I was a kid, I would sometimes do that and he'd give us a couple quid. But it was always quite big down there, especially Cornish Pirates. Like I said, I played it for fun. A lot of my friends still play and I'm still in contact with pretty much most of them that I played with. So my dad is a fisherman, but I have been out with him once. Not a great experience. Yeah, I was 15 actually, so it was more, I wanted an Xbox. That's when my gaming started actually. When I started growing up and playing rugby, I didn't actually know it was a job. Like, I never watched it. Up until then, I didn't really have a clue what I was going to do. So I went out with him for 9 days and it weren't great. He'd work 6 hours on, 6 hours off, no matter what the time. Obviously, he'd rotate the shift. So I reckon I'd be getting maybe 4 hours kip if I was lucky. I mean, it just got too much. And yeah, I think I was sick at one point. It definitely wasn't for me. At that point, I didn't know I could do it as a job. It wasn't up until the point I think I was playing under 16s Cornwall and Robin Cowlin, a guy from the Exeter Academy, started speaking to me. I got into the English 16s squad then. And then since then, I sort of started realising I could make a career of this. So I think I signed my first contract at 17. At that point, I was a loose head. My mum was sat next to me. I was like, wow, I can get paid to do this. It was quite funny. I looked at her and she literally had enough. She didn't know what to say. So we just signed and that was it. And then I moved up. And yeah, it was good. I couldn't say it was a dream of mine because I didn't realise you could get paid up until sort of maybe it's a year or two before that. So I was just, I suppose, thankful and lucky that I got in that position. And then since then, it was good. You know, I didn't play actually too much for the club at Loosehead. They soon moved me to a hooker, I think, because of my size at one point. Even now, I'm probably getting quite old and chubby now. Back then, I wasn't too bad. So yeah, I moved to hooker and I started playing for them then. And you know, to be fair, I loved the club and I was there for about 13 years. Obviously, when I first signed in the academy, I was still not guaranteed that I'd play. So I still worked my ass off for the first 3 years, like as much as I could to try and get a senior contract. But yeah, I did feel, I wasn't relieved because I knew it was still going to be hard, but I was like, thank God, like this is sort of covered, like this has come off from it. Because yeah, like I said, if I didn't have this, again, I probably would be fishing or something else. Which don't get me wrong, they're good things to do, like, but playing what you love is, yeah, it's class. Jack Nowell, I met him around 4 or 5. at the rugby club. Since then, we've just been around each other constantly, really. Yeah, bad times, good times. We've been together for a lot of stuff, so yeah, it's nice, definitely. Got his name tattooed here, actually. Funnily enough, we're both drunk, and we decided that would be a great place to get it done. Went to the same school. He played for Exeter, like we said, for as long. We both played for England together. I remember when I first played with Knowles at college, went to college, which is the academy, and he didn't even think he was going to get anywhere. He thought he wasn't going to play first team college. And we knew, he was good. He always put himself down. He was the first one of us to play for England. So, no, it was nice, to see the progression. I feel like he obviously broke through to first team before I did. But it sort of gave me confidence that there is a way to make it to play for Exeter first team. And just seeing his first England game when he first got announced for the Lions, just stuff like that, it is nice. And I've known the guy for years. I know how much it means to him. So it's been quite special.
My name is Jack Nowell. Me and Dickie met each other for the first time when we were about 4 or 5 years old, I think, where we both joined our local rugby club. Me and Dickie have always been together, obviously through rugby the whole time. We've travelled from, Cornwall to Exeter for trials or matches or anything like that. So we lived together in our academy house, and then you just stick to people that you're familiar with. So that leads on to then nights out after you've played and parties and different things like that. But when you feel safe with someone very well, you're obviously yourself. And like I mentioned, we've had some brilliant times off the field, and probably some of the funnest times of my life so far. The positives obviously outweigh the negatives with Dickie. I've always had such a good time with him. He certainly puts on this front of the big macho, hard man, but there's definitely another side of Dickie where he is very caring and looks after the people that are around him. To be able to see Dickie grow up through different stages and to be able to do that with him is been pretty cool. He's always been one of those players on the field that leads from the front, just because of how much he wants to give for the team and how much he wants to win. And it's always very much like him putting his body on the line every single time. It's probably why he's picked up so many injuries. And I think by him doing that, kind of drags the team with him, and certainly makes other individual players want to give everything as well. And I think that's definitely one of his best attributes when he's playing. What makes me proud about Dickie? Probably the hurdles that Dickie's been through in his life, and still in a position where he is, in my opinion, still one of the best hookers in the world when he's playing, because there's not many players that play the way he does. And then obviously watching him become a dad to little Arlo as well. He's awesome with him, and obviously seeing it from afar now, watching him on the field after an England game and watching them run around together is pretty cool to watch. And I'm obviously very happy to have played a small part in that journey with him.
How did I get into gaming? When I worked on my dad's fisherman boat for 9 days, you normally get paid. He basically asked me what I wanted. And I was like, well, I want an Xbox, if that's possible. And it was like £200. Bearing in mind, £200 for 9 days at sea, not worth it. I would never do that ever again. But at the time, Xbox, great idea. And then since then, really, just hammered it. And then from there, moved to Exeter. Then obviously PCs started getting big. Got PCs, started trying to stream. And then the games I played changed. There was a period of time where I was injured. I think it was my left knee. I was out for 7 months. I was single at the time. So I finished the club about 12:30, and I'd go home. About 1 o'clock, I'd jump on. I wouldn't get off till about 1 in the morning, every single day for, I'd say, 5 months. On the Call of Duty, the longer you play, you've got to be half decent, but time played, you accumulate points. So on the Hardcore Search and Destroy ladder, I was number 1 in the world. And overall, I think I was 23. It's just something that I enjoyed. I was injured, I couldn't really do much, and I really, really like gaming. Yeah, so I just got stuck into it. Obviously, it probably wasn't great, me gaming for that long, being injured, but at that point, I thought it was, fine to do. I'd lose track of time. It'd be one game, last game, but then the last game would be 3 in the morning. And I just felt like it made my mood was worse, as in, because I would stay up so late, I'd have to wake up early for training. It would affect my training. It would affect then what I'm like at home. Then all I want to do is jump on a game again. So I just felt I just quit. I can't. I either do it or I don't. I can't. Now, I could probably game now and enjoy it, but then it would end up filtering back in, I would say. So it was either just keep doing what I'm doing or just sack it off. So I just sacked it off. Yeah, maybe a bit of escape. I don't know. I was pretty good at it, so it was really enjoyable to do. A lot of the boys' game, obviously not to the extent. Just really enjoyed it, I think. I literally don't know why. If I knew why, then I wouldn't do it. But yeah, I like golf at the moment. I'm quite addicted to golf. I go to the range most evenings. played today, play on Sunday, hopefully. I'd play every day if I could. Handicaps at 10. I'm going through a few swing changes at the moment. Got a few lessons in the pipeline, don't worry. I hope to get to a single digit next year. Consistency is my problem. 10's the level where you can get a couple birdies, you can par a few holes in a row, you can get 2 triples and a double. Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm at. The operations I've had an ankle op, about 8 knee ops, I've had my neck opped on. I've had a few. I'd say my worst couple were, I had an OCD on my left knee, a microfracture, which took about 7 months. And then I did this one before I did my neck. I don't even know what it was, but again, it was like 4 or 5 months, which is quite tough. And then obviously my neck was probably my worst. The main incident was South Africa in one of the autumns. I think it was 2 years ago now. I just had a collision, shoulder on head, and it compressed my neck, and I started getting stingers from there on. And we sort of had a plan on when I was going to get my neck operated on, it was sort of a time around where sort of hoping I was going to get into the Six Nations and stuff. I was going to get it done. I was still obviously playing and I did my ankle, so me and the club decided to operate on the ankle and the neck at the same time period. So we did that and I had the op on my neck and it didn't go to plan, obviously. So with necks, I assume it's like a routine neck op. Obviously it's not routine, but where the nerves run through the holes, you get bony growth and it closes the hole a bit, so it squeezes your nerves. So basically I had him go in and he shaved the holes to make them wider for the nerves to go through easier, I assume, so I wouldn't get these stingers. But I woke up and I couldn't move my right arm. I could move my hand and my forearm, but I couldn't move it off my side. So at first we thought it was maybe neuropraxia, like the nerves just bruised, but it was about 5 months and I still couldn't pick my fork up, put it to my mouth. Obviously didn't go to plan. I got damaged in the process. There's a few ways it could have got damaged apparently. I can't really remember them, but the percentage was really low. But obviously it hit me. Yeah, so I was out for a long time, which was quite difficult. It was tough. At first they said, like I said, it was neuropraxia. After that, they started saying it's more serious, it's damaged, so I wouldn't repair. There was times where they said I potentially won't be able to play again. I feel like if I was able to move my arm, I would play. Then we went quite a long time after that to see him again, have another nerve conduction study with Sale, and it didn't really improve too much. We were just waiting for a certain time period. So after 9 months, they say for the new nerves to form and be safe is around 9 months. But obviously at that point, I still couldn't really do much. So it actually took 16 months for me to get my first game or for us to decide to play. And at that point, I still couldn't bicep curl 4 kilos. The nerve itself wouldn't regenerate. So where the nerve was damaged, obviously it wasn't sending it to my bicep, my shoulder muscles, my back. So parts of my back was gone. Just wasn't sending to it. And apparently after a while, you get a new nerve, like endings and whatever, and they like branch off like trees. And then at some point it might come back, and lucky enough it started to come back. But it was a period where we thought it was starting to come back, but it wasn't. I was able to cheat effectively, to use other muscles to sort of help me out. I would say, to be fair, the start of this season was probably the first time where I was able to build strength on it. And this season, it's probably from the start to now is improved the most it's ever improved. But I feel like last season, it never changed like at all, yeah. So at the point of the end of last season, I did think this would be me. So when I started playing again, I was happy, but I feel like I put too much pressure on myself to perform well, like be back to where I was. I wasn't very good. And it really wound me up a little bit. I think that was the toughest part. Waiting that long to get back to play and then not being able to play well at all. Like I couldn't carry the ball on my right arm really because it would get stripped or I'd knock it on. I couldn't pass on my right hand. I could throw, which was fine because my tricep and the muscles that I throw with obviously wasn't affected. I wasn't as strong because I didn't work out as much, but my throwing was fine. It was just passing right to left. I could probably pass it maybe a meter. So basically what we did was we strapped my elbow off extension so I didn't pull my bicep. We put a couple of dermal pads on my bicep to make it a bit chunkier because any impact's gone and give me a dead arm. And then we just padded up my shoulder, give me a shoulder strap. So I effectively strapped my arm on just so I could get through. Sale signed me injured, so I felt like I needed to perform well for them as a thank you more than anything. It's weird because looking back, they thought I was performing okay, like well, but in my mind I knew I just wasn't doing what I can do. So it's a difficult one. Obviously, knowing in myself that I wasn't performing as good as I can, but still playing, still starting. I think that was the toughest part, waiting that long to get back to play and then not playing like you want to play. In the La Rochelle game, we were playing first half, running around fine. Got to about 20 minutes in, I started not feeling right. And I just thought, no, I must just be really tired. I'm more tired than normal. And I had the boys, because they were trying to play quick their game. And I had the boys shouting at me to get to a line out. And I was like, I physically couldn't run. I was like, what is going on? I had to take a knee because I was going to pass out. I was like, this definitely ain't right. But I thought I'd crack on till the half time. Went back out second half. About 5 minutes in, my lips and that were going numb and hands were going weird. And I was like, nah, something's wrong. Something's not right. So I come off the field. I don't know why I'm laughing because I was quite lucky, but I got my ECG put on me just to check if everything's all right. And my heart went into AF, atrial fibrillation. Obviously, doc said that was quite serious. Obviously, I had no idea what it was. After the game, I felt fine. My heart was a bit fluttery, but because I wasn't moving around, I felt okay. But I went to hospital and I stayed over that night throughout the day. They put me on a drip called flavonoid to flip it back over. And lucky enough it did, so they didn't have to go in and operate. And then I've just been given tablets just in case. We had tests after that. I had tests for about a week after that. I was leading into the Six Nations, where I wore a portable ECG machine, MRIs with the injections where I assume they put like a dye in me just to see what was going on. And everything come back clear, absolutely fine. They actually don't know why. But they said it's not common, but it's some like sports people get it. But so does older people get it, and I was thinking, I'm 29, must be me. They've got a thing that could have, reset it. So they put a drip in my arm for about 30, 40 minutes. And obviously it didn't flip straight away. I went to sleep, and then when I woke up, it was back to a normal heart rate. But basically, I think they explained it to me as like, you've only got 40% of your cardiovascular working or something like this. So basically, where the heart's beat, I know where I explained it, the way it goes boom, 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 boom. The bottom one was going boom, 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 and the top one was just doing it every now and again, sort of like forgetting to bump. Yeah, just off, yeah.
Couple of backs. That helps the momentum, and England are almost there. Are they there? They are. It's Cowan-Dickie who's in.
I'm Richard Wigglesworth. I am the senior assistant coach.
How to describe Luke Cowan-Dickie LCD? If Luke's around, you know about it. You hear him. Actually awesome what he's done in terms of the injuries and the stuff he's been through to get back to this point. Shows an incredible amount of resilience that people probably brush over because he's the larger than life character who's like, I am here. He gives the group and the people around him incredible amount of energy, and actually tough, properly tough.
My name's Chandler Cunningham-South and I play for Harlequins in England. On the field, Luke Cowan-Dickie is a beast. Off the field, he's just like a bundle of energy, to be honest with you. You see him and you just smile when you're looking at him, like he's a funny guy for sure.
Cowan-Dickie breaks through an Italian hole.
I had a horse, yeah. I had a Clydesdale because I wanted a big horse. I needed a big horse so I could fit on it. I don't know, I just thought, why not one day? Back in the day, I had an ex-missus. Obviously, she got a horse, I got a horse, went hiking a little bit. I actually loved it, to be fair. The first time I jumped on him, he kicked me off twice, which wasn't great. But no, I loved it. I don't know why. Thinking back now, it's pretty mental. Honestly, I don't know why. But there's a picture of me with a high vis on and a helmet, and I'm thinking, what? Back then, I thought that was really cool. Yeah. To be fair, I had not a clue. Trust me. And the horse turned up at like 3 a.m, so it could have been off a dodgy site, I'm not sure. 3 a.m, tipping down my rain. Horse turns up. I actually saw videos of it, obviously in the place it was. This guy was hopping on it, sitting on his bum, the lot like doing whatever, and it was just stood there stationary. I was like, oh, lovely, this is easy. Obviously, hopped on and started bucking, kicked me off twice. And then he was fine for a couple of weeks. And then the week of the Prem final, I went hacking twice and he kicked me off twice. And I actually hurt myself on one of them. So I had to stop it completely, because in my head I was thinking, imagine I had to go to Rob Baxter and say, sorry mate, my horse bucked me off and I can't play the final, I'm injured. And so that's when I cut it quits. Yeah. I'm just not a good drinker, pretty much. Like, it'd be times I'd drink and I'd just black out, so it ended up not being fun. So yeah, I just decided, what's the point, pretty much. So I've done a few stupid things in the past, blacking out wise, obviously. Yeah, just what's the point? It's not enjoyable. I can't have one. Always want to have two. And then I have two, want to have another one. Like, it was never one. I'd always say, yeah, just going out for one wouldn't be one. So yeah, it just felt like it affected, everyone knows when they get drunk, you always feel hungover next day, get a bit of beer fear. And I just felt like it just crept into just life in general. So I just feel my mind feels freer. I don't know, it just didn't really fit in. Like, I'd always drink too much. I'd always do it too much. There'd be some times where I'd drink most weekends. There'd be some times where I'd just stop it. And then I'd drink again 2 months later, but it would be like a binging rather than just enjoying it. I thought I'd stop drinking. So I met my partner Chloe at a barbecue. So my friend was partnered with her friend. They had a birthday barbecue and we met there. It is nice. When you go home, you have someone there. She does a lot for me, so don't really have to think too much for myself, which is nice. And obviously having our little man is, I don't know, it just changed a lot. Put life into perspective. It's impossible to think of rugby and stuff when you go home to a 4-year-old. Next to impossible, he wants to wrestle. He's jumping off the sofa, there's clotheslining you. Like, there's nothing you could do but look after. So it's been amazing. I'll do it all again. I took him to his first football lesson the other night. I know it's football, but I just wanted to get him into any type of sport. They all chased around the ball and it just, honestly, it was like real wholesome. Do you know what I mean? Didn't think I was that type of guy, but it was like lush. Might be doing that more often with him. And the older he gets, the more he's going to be into certain sports, and hopefully he's as competitive as I am. So I feel like it's just going to get better. There'll be a soft nudge to golf. Nah, I'm joking. Nah, he could do what he wants. If he wanted to dance, he could dance. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really too fussed. Whatever he wants to put himself into, he can.